Hello and welcome to this second look at early USA Star Trek paperbacks. So we didn't quite get through all the paperbacks last week, so here's the remainder now. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and let's get to it. Okay, so here we have our second look at our original USA Star Trek paperbacks. Now, these first few are published by Ace Books in the States, and this is a particularly nice one, a Star Trek catalogue edited by Jerry Turnbull. Now, this particular book was published in, when was it? 1979. So just on the cusp of the motion picture coming out, and this is a condensed version of a large format book, and because of that, it's just a really great packed Star Trek book. There's loads to look at in here. The photos are great. Let's look at the entire Star Trek experience, and it comes highly recommended. So if you can find a nice copy of a Star Trek catalogue, I would recommend you grab it, as it's a great one. So that's that. Now this next one from Ace is the authorized biography. So it's not an autobiography, it's the biography of William Shatner. So Shatner obviously helped out with this, but it was finished off by Star Trek luminaries Marshak and Colbreth, who had written some of the Bantam paperbacks. So this one came out in 1979. Quite a nice 70s jacket, that one. We're No Man. This is another, this one's published by Archway, and this is, this capitalized on the choose your own adventure craze. So it's one of two. I haven't got the second one, I'm still looking for that, but basically you worked your way along. You read you had to try not to get killed. So if you were on page number 43, if you got through that, it would say, right, turn to page 57. So you go to page 57. Oh, and there we are. You go to page 47. So yeah, choose your own adventure. Great artwork there. It's a shame they didn't make more of that, because it's not bad at all. But yeah, not bad. That's something a little bit different. So Which Way book. Avon published this one, which is by Leonard Nimoy, and this is a book of his poetry. Around this time, so when was this book? It was like mid-70s, I believe, wasn't it? When have we got this? This is 1973. So around this time, there was a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and it was almost identical to this. It had a blue jacket, and it followed like the life of a seagull, over a few days, and it was all told in photographs with bits of sort of poetry and prose, and that's almost exactly like what this was. So this is Leonard Nimoy's You and I. Certainly, it's not really strictly Star Trek related, but I popped it in here because it is an oddity, and it was published during the heyday of Trek publishing. Now, these next few books I've got are published by Signet, and the first one they did was the Star Trek quiz book, and this, I believe they could just about get away with this. However, these weren't official Star Trek books. This is June 77, and it started the trend. Well, we'll see that on the very next book. There was a whole brand new series called The Best of Trek, and they weren't really allowed to use the Star Trek likeness, so there's no Enterprise on here. And although they mentioned Star Trek from the magazine for Star Trek fans, it was just called Trek. And this is like the best of those contributions. They're actually really good, so I would recommend these for sure. This first one came out, April 78, so it was straight after the quiz book. And these, I think, ran up to about, they went right through the 80s into the early 90s, this Best of Trek series, all edited by Irwin and Love. They're not bad, the content's excellent, but because they can't use the actual likenesses of the ships and that, it does take a little bit from the appeal of these. So I've got them for the sake of completeness, but I wouldn't say they were great Star Trek books by any means. So I that's number 5. I've got them up to number 10, I think. But as I said, I'm pretty sure they did some, and then they did the best of Trek, which were like larger format books, and they did a couple of volumes of them as well. That's number 8 there. I said these were published with some regularity. Number 9, and that's number 10, which is the most up-to-date one I've got. And when did this one come out? June 86. Yeah, so there you go. But that's all the ones I've got for the best of Trek, and they, as I said, they did carry on right into the 90s. So let's pop those over there a moment. Now, one other odd book here. This is the only Warner one I've got, and it's Meaning in Star Trek. So Karen Blair, and this is one of those real oddbeat ones, which you know, it's Star Trek just to cash in on the name Star Trek, really. You know, I mean, they got the quote on Leonard Nimoy on the front. When was this? March 79. Yeah, so thorough, intelligent, and meaningful. There you go. Leonard Nimoy, he'll say that about anything, won't he? Yeah, a bit of an oddity, that one. As are a lot of these. So that's that. Now, I've got some Star Trek photo novels to show you in a moment. So I just do these last couple first. So this was... this isn't actually a first edition. I'm still on the lookout for that. It's by Del Rey, published by Del Rey. The novel was by D.C. Fontana, a noted Star Trek author, based on the TV pilot by Gene Roddenberry and Gene L. Coons. So I'm sure those names will be familiar to Star Trek fans. And there is thought that Mr. Data was from Next Generation was based on this character when that came along 10 years later. So yeah, the Questor tapes, certainly a bit of an oddity, and one maybe worth picking up. This next one, this was published by Playboy Press, so Playboy magazine of all people. Even they got in on the Star Trek book phenomenon, and this is the making of the Trek convention. So Star Trek almost invented the science fiction convention, them along with the World Sci-Fi Con, and these are a look at said conventions, and boy, they're still going strong today. So fantastic when you think about it, and actually quite a nice little book, this one. And this one was published in November 1979. Now, the next thing, we're back to Bantam. So most of the Bantam books we covered in our last video. However, we didn't get a chance to even have a look at these, which were the photo novels. So anyone who was around in the 70s probably remembers the Star Trek photo novels. So, amongst others, there was photo novels for Grease and The Hulk and Battlestar Galactica, but Star Trek had 12. They did 12, and this is before the days of video and DVD and Blu-rays and digital downloads and Netflix. All you had were books. So this first one, 1977, and this was the stills from that classic story, The City on the Edge of Forever, put into almost like comic book form, but with photographs. And I just loved these as a kid. I loved them to death. Absolutely loved them to death. And they're just fantastic. You literally could, relive the episode. And I read these in single sittings, and they have a lot of nostalgia for me, these books. And this first one, this is quite a nice copy, but it's the British Corgi adaptation. I haven't got the Bantam edition. I'm still on the lookout for that one. And then that was number 1, and these are all numbered on the spine. This is number 2. So this is Where No Man Has Gone Before. The reworking of the pilot. Number 3. So Trouble with Tribbles. They're not taking any chances. They are choosing the on the whole, the very best episodes that Trek had to offer, and this is just, it's just brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Cannot top this sort of stuff. This is real Trek memorabilia. Taste of Armageddon, yeah, another great one. It's funny, a lot of these have become my favourite episodes of Star Trek, and I think personally it's probably because I had the photo novels when I was a kid. I think that's the reason. Metamorphosis. Yeah, I don't remember much about that. Oh yeah, I remember it now. Yes, I remember that one. Mr. Cochrane, yes. Okay. All Our Yesterdays. See, this is a US edition, but like some of the other ones, it's been imported, so it's got the 95p British currency on. That's number 6. Number 7 was appropriately the Galileo VII, another one of my favourites, sort of a ship in a bottle episode. Quite like that, having to Spock and Bones having to sort themselves out. Piece of the action. And once again, I love this as a kid. Not so keen on it now, but still, it's a bit cliche, but still great. Filmed on the Paramount backlot there. Brilliant, good stuff. Number 9 was The Devil in the Dark, the Horta there. Another absolute classic, one of my favourites. Brilliant Star Trek. Try not to be a red shirt in that one. Day of the Dove, yeah, number 10. It's great. Klingons there. Deadly Years, number 12, which was another one which I really love. Great makeup for its day. Absolutely great makeup for its day. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's funny, Shatner looking old. He doesn't look like that now. And then the last one they did, number 12 in the series, was Amok Time. Such a shame they never did Space Seed, which is another favourite of mine. But most of my favourites did come out. And good stuff. So there you go. That finishes my look at all the Star Trek paperbacks that were published in the 70s and 80s by the various publishers. I do hope you enjoyed that one. The next video will be on the pocketbooks. So I do have almost all the original Star Trek pocketbooks right up until when they started publishing the Next Generation one. So there's easily 100 of those to get through. So that itself will probably be a 2-part video. There's some absolutely cracking novels in there, which I will be happy to go through. I'm still trying to fill in those few gaps. So I'll try and get those gaps filled. Then I'll do a new video. So that wraps up our look at USA Star Trek paperbacks. I hope you've enjoyed going through them as much as I have. Once I finish getting the odd James Blish book that I'm missing, because I am trying to get these in first edition and they're not that easy to find in the UK, particularly in nice nick. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video down the line. I've not quite got all the early Star Trek pocket books, but I'm almost there. So that will definitely be the next Star Trek book video. So if you've liked this video, please give it a like and a thumbs up. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any content, that would be fantastic. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon.